Bible prophecy is active and unfolding daily. Zechariah 12, Isaiah 17, Psalm 83, Ezekiel 38. Here is what the LameStream Media is not telling you.
Shalom, my friends. Welcome to this week's newscast. Probably and perhaps the least amount of news in terms of wars and Intifada updates, but something most important to share with you, my friends. Every time I've heard or read that Syria has been in a civil war for nearly 6 years now, the Ruach, the Spirit, has told me this is a statement of confusion. And now finally this lie is being exposed like never before, and by some very credible people. First, I want to thank those of you who have alerted me to the propaganda that's been promoted about this. And rather than get into a lengthy explanation about it here, I have two very cool videos for you to watch, linked in the Read More section beneath today's newscast, which I very strongly urge you to take the time to give your full attention to. It'll help you to understand how the darkness is thickening in this last hour. First, there's Eva Bartlett, an independent journalist who's been in the Middle East and presents a very clear view on the truth. And then second, there's a video of the U.S. Peace Council representatives confronting a hostile American press after visiting Syria and learning that the American people are being grossly lied to. Even these experts confess, as do I, my friends, that because the LameStream Media is so controlled and the truths are so completely covered up, the difficulty in discovering the truth about such things is unbelievably immense. However, terrorists funded by America, Turkey, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and others have been controlling and absolutely intimidating, oppressing, shocking, and murdering Aleppo citizens for years, with weapons that continue to be supplied to them by the countries that are funding their insane efforts. The point is, the public is being deceived by the LameStream Media beyond belief. And if you really want to gain a fresh understanding of the kind of garbage that's being slung in this last hour, please take the time to watch the two videos I have linked for you. Romans chapter 12, verse 2 tells us, "Stop being conformed to this world, to its superficial values and customs, and instead be transformed and progressively changed by the renewing of your mind." The renewing of your mind? What does that mean? Do you know what it's like to experience the renewing of your mind? To actually touch and feel the evidence of such a miracle as the renewing of your mind is something that far exceeds the value of anything this world has to offer. And how does this renewing of the mind happen? I have to tell you, my friends, yesterday, I don't know, I guess I was doing some notes on our Thursday word study, and it hit me at how this renewing of the mind works and how effective it is. I mean, I spend a lot of time in the Word. And, a moment ago I asked, how does this renewing of the mind happen? It happens by you being in the Word as much as possible. I mean, the more you're in the Word, the more your mind, and I've said this in previous videos, there's a difference between the mind and the brain. The mind, the more your mind is renewed. It's no joke when I talk about being washed by and growing in the Word. The more you spend time reading Yahweh's Word, meditating on it, thinking about it, the more time you spend watching my videos, I mean, especially the past, 6 months or so, I've been saying over and over, over and over again, watch this a dozen times, six dozen, just keep watching it. Firstly, because my word studies are deep. They're not for anyone who, has a lighthearted question. My word studies are for the serious at heart. They'll chase away most people. I'm aware of that, and I'm not concerned about it. They draw those whom Elohim is calling, and that's what I rejoice over. But my videos are packed with information, and generally they need to be watched numerous times to just get all the points that are actually being made. But aside from that, because I use so much of the Father's anointed language, Aramaic Hebrew, those words, I try to use them in every area of significance. We're not concerned with and, then, a, the, but wherever there's a descriptive word or a verb of some kind, I do my best to bring in the Aramaic Hebrew just simply because it's anointed and it does not return void. This is not to be taken lightly, my friends. This is powerful stuff. I'm encouraging you, because we are in the last hour, because the darkness is getting so thick, so fast, it is very important, if you're concerned, that you are washing yourself in the Word, not only at least every day, but really throughout the day. It makes such a difference. If you really do this action, you will see how your mind gets washed of the garbage that it's being indoctrinated with hour by hour by hour by hour throughout every day, 24/7, non-stop. The devil is very active at his job, more so than practically anyone on earth is at theirs in terms of being washed by and growing in Yahweh's Word. And you need this washing to get that garbage out. And you won't know the difference if you're not being washed by and growing in the Word. The garbage will mount up, and you will believe the lie that is spoken of in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I think it's verse 11, maybe 10. And that lie is all this garbage that's being heaped on you. You just think it's normal. Like, all this garbage. It's normal. And who cares? Don't worry about it. Everything's okay. Without being washed by and growing in the Word, you won't You'll be like the frog in the cold pot of water that has a fire under it, and it so gradually reaches a boil that you don't know that you've been murdered. Please, get into the Word. Turning to wars and rumors of wars, on Saturday, December 31st, from Reuters, Iraqi forces approached Mosul from the northern front after retaking several villages in the area. The army troops were moving onward to the village of Arghub, where there was ongoing fighting. Then on Sunday, January 1st, from the Pakistan Observer, at least 13 militants were killed in Egyptian airstrikes in northern Sinai when Apache helicopter gunships raided hideouts of alleged militants. Turning to our Intifada update, on Friday, December 30th, from the Times of Israel, security forces shot and wounded a Palestinian woman at the Kalandia checkpoint north of Jerusalem as she tried to carry out a stabbing attack. She approached the security forces with a knife in her hand and didn't respond to the calls of the soldiers to stop. So they stopped her. Then on Saturday, December 31st, from the Times of Israel, Israeli security forces arrested 3 Palestinian residents of Yabed, west of Jenin, who were suspected of firing at an army position in the northern West Bank on Friday night. Another Palestinian was arrested with a knife near Deir Sharaf in the northern West Bank, who said he had intended to carry out an attack. What a place to live. Turning to our review of last week's news. The LameStream Media is doing a better job at deceiving us all with lies than any of us thought. Be sure to click the links beneath this video, my friends, in the Read More section below. Iraqi forces continue their attacks on Mosul. At least 13 militants were killed in Egyptian airstrikes in northern Sinai. Security forces shot and wounded a Palestinian woman at the Kalandia checkpoint north of Jerusalem as she tried to carry out a stabbing attack. Israeli security forces arrested 3 Palestinian residents of Yabed, west of Jenin, who were suspected of firing at an army position in the northern West Bank. A Palestinian was arrested with a knife near Deir Sharaf in the northern West Bank. And John Kerry's condemnation of the Israeli government as the, quote, most right-wing in history, close quote, has brought an explosion of rebuke and astonishment from many and has set off a wave of criticism from lawmakers in both parties. I'm sort of suspecting, like, is this why I don't have any reports of Intifada attacks or reports of wars going on? The news has been very light, but everything I looked at is all about, John Kerry, he's a jerk. John Kerry, we hate him. It's like, but that, my friends, is what the LameStream Media is not telling you. Abba willing, I'll see you here again next week. Until then, stay safe. Shalom.
Crowded rooms, I need more space than I consume. Enough is time alone with you, underneath a naked moon, sharing confidential moods and making chatter. Mockingbird nocturnal sings notations of eternal things, entering the quantum breeze, flying not for want of wings. He lights his gaze on you and me, simply because we matter.